different aspects to the religion that may seem different to theirs, but it's not.
Mhm. Mhm.
And
So, for instance, are you talking about, like, I know that a lot of people don't understand Obia, for instance, which is African spirituality. Yes. Mhm. You see, and because it has gotten a lot of negative stigma. That Obia itself, when you hear it about in songs, you hear it is wrong. People sing about they want to fire burn Obia man and all kind of stuff. But that's because of this misunderstanding.
And in that respect, okay, say Obia in the Caribbean, as people, we don't have priests or priestesses as a house or representation of houses, especially the Antilles. You understand what I'm trying to say?
I understand. You see, so this is what we're trying to get people to do, a mind shift in terms of how they promote something so it could be acceptable, because it has to be established where everybody know that it's common and it's not really a secret, or where people always think that something that's done in secret is that you're trying to hide something, okay?
Yes.
But I'm not saying to give.
Aspect of that is majority, I would say, of the people in the Caribbean are natural born. When I say natural born, from birth, they have these gifts.
Yes.
It's not something that they learn. Yes, they learn certain aspects about the herbs and all of this and that. But just a natural, it's just, a way of life for them. Then this is what they grew up knowing, and it's totally different from everybody else. Not to say that
that's an interesting analogy, because I've not interviewed, but I've had virtual interaction, whether I'm doing a reading for somebody or things like that, where the person that I'm reading, the spirit will tell them, listen, you have you have the capability of doing this, Did you know you could do this? Did anybody ever tell you so and so? And it's not because I'm trying to flatter the person, but I'm delivering with the message that the spirit telling me to tell the person. And then all of a sudden, they come to this realization that they do know these things, because so they start talking about, when this and this happened, either do this or this and this happened, either do that. And I said, well, this is the connection that you have with your ancestors, that this is something that they give to you. You see? So you were born with it, and they want you to use it, but this is the way how you connect with them. You see?
Yeah.
So that's very interesting that you brought that up. That is very interesting, because a lot of people.
The reason why I brought it up is because a lot of people, they may have their differences, but we are all the same basically. There's no real difference between this religion. That is all the same. People got realization. It's all there's no need to be fighting with each other because one person is from this house or one person is from this religion and blah, 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 blah. What is better or not? We're all the same. We're all equal.
Yes.
There's no
That's why I like to work with the ancestors, because everybody have ancestors. Nobody can say they don't have no ancestors. Any living person, you have to come from somebody else. So you have ancestors. You see? And when you work with your ancestors, you know, they're like seeing into the future. That's how I can say. They have like they know what's going to happen.
But it's this game. They connect the dots.
Yeah. And then another key point.
The dots. All of us come to the original point, right?
Mhm.
So what's the sense in fact?
So another key thing too, you know, because a lot of people, you know, the world is very old. You know what I mean? The world is very old, and our spirits are ancient too. We have a lot of very old spirits, you know, because I too believe in reincarnation. You just keep coming back, you know, and but also the universe that we're living in, the universe makes changes, goes through cycles just like we do. So now the cycle that we're going into, you know, and all of this has to do with astrology and astronomy and all of this stuff, but the cycle that we're going into, more and more people are tapping into their spirituality. You see, even though all this other stuff going on, just as much as we have all this technology that's come out new every day, people are going into their spirituality. So you cannot meet another person and think that they're not in touch spiritually and think they don't have a clue. We also have to respect that the other person knows something. You see? That's where we try to underestimate each other or top each other as in our prayer. Our prayer says, you know, I am the top of them all. But everybody is on top. Everybody's on top. You see? It's just for us to develop ourselves, but the gifts are there. They're there. You know, whether we want to accept, whether we want to accept them or not, because a lot of people are afraid of, you know, this different aspects of spirituality. They're afraid of magic. They're afraid of magic. You know, because they think it's magic. You know, so they go on with that. They're afraid of magic.
It's just energy. It's just pure energy.
Yeah. That's right. I agree with you. It's just energy. Very good. Very good. You see? So, you know, we have people who are we call them psychic. We have people who are psychic. And we have people, and there are so many aspects of being psychic. You know, you could be clairvoyant, clairaudient. You know, you could smell, you could do all kind of things, and you'd be like, oh man, you know, what's that smell? That smells like the spirit. You know, when you get around people like that, you'd be like, what are you talking about? You're smelling a spirit. Yes, you're smelling a spirit. You know,
just some people talk to the dead.
Yes, that's right. You see? So we have all these different things that we do to express our spirituality. And, you know, I'm going to say, you know, because different people around the world have their spirituality too, you know. Yeah. Their own type of way how they communicate with spirits too. It's not just the Africans.
Every culture.
Every culture, yes. So it's not just the African culture. So I don't want people to think, well, you know, but because we're talking about how, and then we could trace them that they're linked together. Look at the Chinese culture, for example. You know, they got Shango and they got all these things that mix. They're the same deity, but just they call them something different. That's all. Okay. So, you know, we're not saying nobody got to practice anybody else's culture, but you can do things in the culture in which you were brought up or the culture that you've embraced, okay?
Yes.
So, definitely. So the next group, I really appreciate you for calling. Thank you very much for this insight that you're giving us into OFAE. You know, there's not much in-depth information about OFAE because, and that's because each family have their own little brand of OFAE.
Yeah.
You know, they have their things that are passed down to them, you know, so, but especially in the Caribbean, so you know we got OFAE practice in Suriname, in Cuba. Yeah, we got OFAE practicing in Cuba, we got in Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, Dominica, Guyana, Barbados, Grenada, Belize, all through the Caribbean, the Bahamas, you know? Okay?
Yeah.
So, yeah, because, you know in OFAE, they like to mix up some little bottles and stuff. They mix. Yeah, you know, the OFAE people, they always mixing something like, okay, boom, 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 let me put this together, boom, 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 bam, wow.
And it works.
You know? Yeah, so you got a charm going on there. And you see, but people like to say that, there is mysticism, but it's not really mysticism.
Oh, it's not.
It's science. It's science. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's a science, you know. So, yeah, so it's very good. I love it. I love the OFAE thing. Anyway, and some people, too, like for instance, some people mix Christianity with OFAE, too.
Yes, they do.
Different aspects of Christianity, they synchronize with OFAE. So you might have some European stuff that they go in there. Of course, the European, they know that they do their thing too, you know, because they got the Wicca and all of this, the earth magic and all of this stuff that they do. But people do these things because that's their way of keeping in touch with the spirit world. Okay? Mm-hmm. So let's talk about our next big numbers of how people celebrate IFA, Orisha, and Egun, and how they're promoting it in their culture and to the world. We have voodoo. We're talking about voodoo from Benin and Togo area in West Africa. So there's a group that has put on a very great, they document it. They document the voodoo and other types of African spiritual expression. This is true. They call the Festival of Black Deities, okay? Or Festivalis Divinities Noreses, okay? And this is celebrated annually in Togo, okay? Norires in Togo, which is the ancient city of Anejo, okay? At different months in the recent times, especially in December, they organize Akofin African. This is the Group Heritage Association. They organize this big festival for the voodoo deities, okay? So in this festival, they have like 41 different voodoo deities that they worship and celebrate, okay? Of course, we know that voodoo itself was born in Benin, Togo, as well as the Congo. I must say that's where my ancestors came from the Congo, and before being exported to Brazil, Cuba, the USA, particularly Louisiana, and Haiti, where they practice it in great amounts, in large numbers now. So nowadays, the voodoo religion has about 80 million followers worldwide. That's a lot of people. 80 million. Okay? We have 80 million voodoo followers. Okay? And it is an extraordinary pace, special chanting music. You know, they incorporate, the practitioners always sing, you know, and people go into trances and all of these things, you know, and this is how voodoo is, it's really